The OnePlus 13 aims higher than ever for OnePlus and it hits the mark. It's beautiful to hold, pleasing to use, and it performs better than any other smartphone you can buy right now. My old complaints have been pounded into silence by an amazingly durable design and the best support OnePlus has offered. The cameras take photos that capture the action with clarity. This is a phone that turns heads, but it's more than just a pretty face. It lasts all day and through the night, then gets back up for work after a power nap. Sound fun? Just buy it already. The pros: durable design can handle the heat and water pressure. Great action mode on the camera takes amazing high-speed shots. Best battery life on any phone I've used. The cons: can't get one free with a carrier agreement. Cameras aren't quite as good as the absolute best, but close. Needs a case to take advantage of MagSafe compatibility. The OnePlus 13 is extravagant and restrained. It's a beautiful phone. The OnePlus 13 is trustworthy. It's durable. Maybe the most durable phone I've tested. It's also refined, with a look that is equally pretty and smart. It will also get 4 years of Android updates from OnePlus, which is longer than you'll probably own this phone. I highly recommend the OnePlus 13. OnePlus is a company you need to know about if you're in the market for a premium phone. OnePlus had a fascinating trajectory. It started as a flagship killer maker, which means it made phones that gave you some of the features found on the best Samsung and best Apple phones, at a lower price. You might get a great display and amazing performance but middling cameras and no wireless charging. You'd also pay hundreds less. That's not true for the OnePlus 13. This phone is uncompromising in every way. It's one of the first phones to use the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, and this chipset delivers on Qualcomm's lofty promises. The OnePlus 13 has the best display on any smartphone. It has the biggest battery and the longest battery life, and even better, it charges much faster than any Samsung, Apple, or Google phone. The OnePlus 13 has great cameras, too. It can match the best camera phones in many situations, offering just enough artistic flair to compete with the iPhone while giving you AI assistance to zoom like a galaxy. Missing features that used to hold OnePlus back have become its biggest strength on the OnePlus 13. My key complaint about OnePlus phones was the lack of IP68 certification. Apple's iPhone and Samsung's Galaxy phones have been water resistant for almost a decade, but OnePlus has never officially certified any of its flagship phones for IP68 durability. This year, the OnePlus 13 takes the plunge with unbeatable IP69 certification, and it's been the most durable phone I've ever tested that doesn't look like a brick made out of a Jeep. OnePlus phones also used to lack wireless charging, but today's OnePlus 13 has so-called AirVolt wireless charging at up to 50 watt. To compare, the Key 2 charging standard supports up to 15 watt, and that's what you'll get with iPhone and Galaxy devices. The OnePlus 13 charges faster wirelessly than the iPhone 16 Pro can charge with a USB-C cable. A OnePlus 13 in the Aramid fiber case with the AirVolt charger attached. You can't buy a OnePlus phone at your local carrier store. That's probably why your friends or your parents haven't heard of OnePlus. Selling a phone through Verizon or Vodafone is an expensive proposition that requires testing, free samples, and marketing money. By skipping the carriers and selling directly, mostly, OnePlus says it keeps its prices lower. Unfortunately, that means a lot of people who would probably love the OnePlus 13 will never hear about it. It also means the OnePlus 13 is harder to afford. When you buy a new iPhone or Galaxy from your carrier, they give you a big discount if you agree to pay for it for the next 3 years. You don't get the massive discount with a OnePlus phone, but you also don't get the 3-year obligation. It's hard to find anything I don't like about the OnePlus 13. I don't wish it had any more AI features now, but the lack of AI might mean this phone gets left behind when the good stuff, agentic AI, finally arrives in a couple of years. If you're remotely considering the OnePlus 13, just buy it. You'll be happy. The battery life alone makes this an easy decision, and the performance, polished interface, and delightful touches throughout make this a phone that will keep you happy as long as you own it, which will be a long time, thanks to its improved durability. The hardest part might be choosing the color in the magnetic case to go with it. The OnePlus 13 is competing with the absolute top-tier flagship phones, but you can buy it for the price of the base model. The OnePlus 13 cameras, display, and battery life all compete handily against the iPhone 16 Pro Max and Galaxy S24 Ultra, but the phone can be purchased for the price of an iPhone 16 or Galaxy S24. The real problem for OnePlus is where and how you can purchase the OnePlus 13. You can buy it directly from OnePlus, or you can buy it from Best Buy, but only the blue or black models, and if you walk into a Best Buy you'll only find the black. Amazon will have the OnePlus 13 soon, but it's not available on Amazon yet. OnePlus offers payment plans in the US through third-party Affirm but doesn't seem to have similar plans in the UK, which means many people will have to pay upfront for the OnePlus 13. That's not how most of us buy phones, so if you're used to paying a monthly installment through your mobile carrier, there will be some sticker shock with the OnePlus 13. Hang in there, though, because having an unlocked phone that you own is a huge benefit. You can shop around for any cell phone plan on any carrier, and when it comes time to sell your phone, you'll be able to sell it without having a lien from a carrier agreement. The OnePlus 13 is available in 3 colors at launch: Midnight Ocean, Blue, Arctic Dawn, White, and Black Eclipse, Black. My review sample was the blue color, which might be the best one, but the white is quite striking, with a bit of texture in the back that makes it stand out. Also, there's black. Except for a couple of hardcore gaming phones, the OnePlus 13 is the first mainstream phone we've tested with the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite processor inside. The chipset delivers on Qualcomm's promises. It's much faster than the previous generation, and it beats Apple's latest A18 Pro-powered iPhone 16 Pro in many benchmark tests. The wins don't stop there. OnePlus says the display is the best that DisplayMate has ever seen, and our tests show it beats competitors in color gamut, if not average brightness. The RAM and storage are significant, and more than enough to drive all of the phone's AI features and more. The most impressive specs might be the 6000 mAh battery and the accompanying 80W charging. I've never seen a battery this big in a phone that wasn't made for hardcore gaming. With a huge battery and Snapdragon 8 Elite, the OnePlus 13 is our new battery life champ, and it charges back to full faster than any Samsung or Apple phone, even with the larger cell inside. Swipe to scroll horizontally. I've long been a big fan of OnePlus phone designs, but I had a major complaint that kept me from recommending them more often. OnePlus phones were durable. They were not certified to be water and dust resistant, unlike every major Samsung phone since the Galaxy S7. That all changes with the OnePlus 13, and it changes in a big way. For such a gorgeous phone, the OnePlus 13 is shockingly durable. Most phone makers test phones to IP68 requirements, which means they can be submerged in 1 meter of water for 30 minutes, and they won't allow any dust particles inside. OnePlus turns that dial to 11 with, it claims, the first IP69 certified phone. Technically, IP69 just means IP68 plus more, and OnePlus gave this phone a lot more. I saw OnePlus reps drop the OnePlus 13 into a clothes washing machine and run it with a full load. I saw the phone placed into a dishwasher, where it sat for a full dish cycle, including the drying. This phone doesn't just take a dunk, it takes a dunk, a spray, and a punch to the face. Although it can't handle salt water, sadly, that only leaves room for future improvement. But seriously, this might be the most durable phone you can buy that isn't made for the military or deep-sea drilling operations. OnePlus makes the best-looking phones you can buy, and the OnePlus 13 continues the trend. While I miss the swirly green from the OnePlus 12, which seemed like a magical object I picked up on my journey through an elfin forest, The midnight ocean blue is so strikingly classy that it's undeniably a good evolution for OnePlus. For accessories, I highly recommend buying the aramid fiber magnetic case, which is not only incredibly functional but also looks snazzy with that bright red ring around the camera bump. OnePlus is also offered Aldo Pro 3 in a matching hue, a very nice touch. The OnePlus 13 feels fantastic when you hold it, especially in the blue color with its soft, inviting, microfiber vegan finish that makes me wonder why I'd ever consider a cold, glass-backed phone like the iPhone or Galaxy. The circular camera bump seems purposeful and stylish, unlike the embarrassed portholes on the iPhone 16 Pro and Galaxy S24 Ultra. OnePlus keeps the mute switch on the side of the phone, and it's the most useful mute switch on any device thanks to intuitive haptic feedback that tells you when the phone will make a ruckus or when it will keep quiet. If you're considering switching from an iPhone to OnePlus, all of your MagSafe gear will work fine if you also have one of the new cases attached to your OnePlus 13. It's an incredibly smart system that, sorry Apple, every phone maker should adopt. Let's make magnet placement a standard across all phones. OnePlus told me that it kept magnets out of the phone itself to keep the price down, but its cases are gorgeous, and third-party options are already making an appearance. OnePlus points to DisplayMate, which says the OnePlus 13 earned DisplayMate's highest ever display performance grade of A++. Who am I to argue? Our testing in Future Labs showed a wider color gamut than the iPhone 16 Pro Max or Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, except when the Galaxy was boosting its color with vivid mode turned on. OnePlus loves to flaunt its maximum brightness numbers, but you will never see the phone reach the 4500 nits that OnePlus claims. In our tests, the display was not as bright as the iPhone or Galaxy using HDR mode. In my real-world time with the phone, I had no trouble seeing the display even in bright sunlight. The fingerprint reader under the display was a delight, the most responsive I think I've ever used. I don't remember a missed attempt in my entire 3-week review period. While my Galaxy phone fails to read my thumbprint on the daily, I even like the subtle curve all around the edges of the display. It makes for a very appealing device to hold and swipe around. My fingers never caught on the edges, and it gives the phone a premium feel. At its best, the OnePlus Oxygen OS 15 interface is delightful. It's colorful enough to be engaging and unique, without feeling cartoonish or distracting. The OnePlus Shelf is a brilliant way to handle widgets, with great designs, and the system settings and notification menus are refined and restrained. Every other Android phone maker should be following OnePlus's lead, because the OnePlus interface doesn't go too far, like Samsung's One UI, or oversimplify, like Google's Vanilla Pixel Android. Sometimes, OnePlus gets a bit silly in its pursuit to take on Apple, but it's an earnest attempt to create the most thoughtful and appealing phone software you'll use. There is a fake dynamic island on the OnePlus 13 that mimics the pill-shaped island on the latest Apple iPhone 16. Unlike the iPhone, the OnePlus dynamic island persists even when the phone is in landscape mode. The feature Apple created to hide the hole in its screen is now being copied to create a fake hole in the screen. I appreciated the attempt, and OnePlus sees utility in having a tiny little window with animations for app activity like your Uber Eats meal approaching or your Audible audiobook playing. All around the OnePlus 13, I found thoughtful touches and flourishes. It never went too far, and OnePlus even retains its controversial Zen space, an app that will lock you out of your phone, with no way to regain access, for a period that you specify. Zen indeed. On the other hand, not everything is perfect. OnePlus claimed that its phones could tap to share with the iPhone, which would be a huge win for an Android phone. Your iPhone friends need to download special OnePlus software, and then walk through a series of steps. It's not as seamless as OnePlus made it sound, and I'd never subject my iPhone friends to this process when I can just email a photo or file instead. Google Circle to search scanning for a lighthouse if you're a huge fan of smartphone AI. What you get on the OnePlus 13 won't compete with Apple Intelligence or Google's Pixel phones. You get a lot of Google AI features, including Google Gemini and Circle to search, but Google isn't handing over all of the AI magic to its Android partners. OnePlus also loads its phones with just a bit more first-party bloat than I'd like. There's a clone phone app and that Zen Space app, and those should just be settings options. The OnePlus Community app should be an optional download. There are sadly two Photos apps because one is Google Photos and the other is from OnePlus. And why is there a strange internet web browser from third-party developer Hate app? Chrome works fine. The OnePlus 13 has 350-megapixel cameras, but forget about the megapixels because megapixels don't matter. What matters is the size of the sensor. The main sensor on the OnePlus 13 is the Sony LIT808, the same sensor used on the OnePlus 12. The iPhone 16 Pro and Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra each use slightly larger main sensors, but the difference is minimal, around 0.06 inches diagonally. The OnePlus 13 has excellent cameras, and it's one of the best camera phones you can buy. The OnePlus approach to mobile photography is going to be more and more important shortly. Instead of packing the phone with massive sensors, OnePlus is aggressively enhancing images with computational photography techniques, to mostly excellent effect. From the main sensor, I got photos that fell somewhere between the oversaturated, explosive colors I see from the Galaxy S24 Ultra and the staid, film-like softness of the iPhone 16 Pro. The OnePlus 13 takes photos that are stylish and realistic, without being dull. In some ways, the OnePlus camera is truly remarkable, like with zoom shots and action photos. Though the OnePlus 13 gets a lot of help from AI to fix the 3x zoom long-distance pics, the result is much better than the competition. Zooming in on my kid on the football field, the iPhone left him grainy and blurred, while the Galaxy made him look cartoonish. The OnePlus 13 offers remarkable detail and sharpness without much blur, even on action shots taken in low light. Shooting fast action scenes gave the OnePlus 13 even more advantage. OnePlus paid for me to take a Royal Caribbean cruise with other tech media. I know, to preview the OnePlus 13 and OnePlus 13R. And I got to photograph folks riding the simulated surfing wave. Under cloudy skies or even at night with disco lights, I got amazing shots that other phone cameras couldn't approach. I still think that the iPhone 16 Pro offers a better look, and the photos from my iPhone look like real photo prints, which can be charming. The OnePlus 13 offers an amazing dynamic range, but it suffers from the classic camera phone problem of balancing everything too evenly. Sometimes I don't want to see so much detail, I want a little more mystery. What do you do with the fastest phone in the world? That's the question I'm left pondering after my time with the OnePlus 13, which scored higher in important benchmarks than any other phone we've tested in Future Labs. It beat the iPhone 16 Pro Max handily in multi-core processing performance and almost graphics tests. Against the Galaxy S24 Ultra, the OnePlus 13 was twice as fast on some tests. In the real world, yes, it's the fastest phone I've ever used. The interface is incredibly snappy, and OnePlus says it's doing work behind the scenes to make sure that everything apps open and Windows renders faster on the OnePlus 13 than any other phone. Still, phones were already plenty fast, and I don't know a single human who can perceive the difference between the fastest overall and the third, fourth, or 10th fastest phone. The problem is that Android software, especially, hasn't caught up to the performance benefits. Sure, I can use Adobe Lightroom or Adobe Premiere to edit photos and videos, but the software doesn't work the same as it does on a desktop computer. Even worse, Apple has far more desktop-class applications developed for its mobile platforms, likely because it took the lead with pro software like Logic Pro and Final Cut Pro. Where is the Final Cut for Android? What apps justify the need for so much power? I suspect that all of the Snapdragon 8 Elite's processing power will be used eventually by upcoming AI features. For now, The AI story is confusing. It seems that the OnePlus 13 is offloading most of its AI work to various cloud servers. It isn't doing much machine learning computation on the phone itself, even though that's supposed to be the whole point of the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Frankly, the Snapdragon will benefit Samsung more than OnePlus, because Samsung stuffs its phones full of software features like the DeX desktop environment, the Bixby Assistant, and more robust edge panels and pop-up bonuses. You'll find a useful, simpler edge panel on the OnePlus 13 by swiping in from the edge of the phone, but you won't find a desktop computer hidden inside. I appreciate that OnePlus doesn't overload its phones with features I'd hardly use. Here's the answer to the Snapdragon question. How does the OnePlus 13 benefit from using the Snapdragon 8 Elite? It's the battery life, which is the best I've ever experienced from a mobile phone. My OnePlus 13 lasted longer than a full day of use every day I used it, and I would often forget to charge it at night in my first week of testing because I simply wasn't worried that it would run out of juice. In lab testing, the OnePlus 13 lasted 15 minutes shy of 20 hours. The iPhone 16 Pro Max lasted just over 17.5 hours, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra couldn't last 17 hours in our testing. That's the longest any phone has lasted, though it shouldn't be a huge surprise because the phone to beat was the OnePlus 12R, a big battery powerhouse with an efficient Snapdragon inside. In my real-world use, honestly, I'm not entirely sure because charging the OnePlus 13 is very fun. It charges so fast, it's incredible. OnePlus also gave the new AirVlock wireless charging puck with a cooling fan built in, and it attaches magnetically to the back of the OnePlus 13 when it's wearing a case. Even with a wireless charger, the OnePlus 13 charges faster than my iPhone or Galaxy, but connected to a special OnePlus Red cable. Superhuman phone speeds. I can drop my phone onto the wireless charger and get a full charge in an hour while I catch up on work. The OnePlus 13 lasts longer than any other phone, sure, but it almost doesn't need to last so long because, even with a huge battery, it charges faster than all the rest. In 15 minutes, the OnePlus 13 charges to 52% full. At the same time, my iPhone 16 Pro Max reached 29%, and my Galaxy S24 Ultra hit 39%. After charging for 30 minutes, the OnePlus was 5 minutes from being topped up, while the other phones weren't even 3/4 charged. OnePlus even gives you a charger in the box, though it must, because no other charger will charge the OnePlus 13 that fast. You must use the special OnePlus charger. Shortly, OnePlus will be releasing an even more special charger that can charge the phone to the full 100W speed, instead of just 80W, though that big brick will cost a lot extra. Buy it if you want the best battery and fastest charging. The OnePlus 13 has the best battery life of any phone I've tested, and it can charge to full in just over 30 minutes like a fiend. You want a beautiful phone that is delightful to use. The OnePlus 13 turns heads and makes people ask what phone I'm using. I'm happy to show them. The interface is just as pretty. You want to switch from iPhone to Android, I'm calling it. The OnePlus 13 is the phone to consider if you want to switch from iPhone to a more versatile, powerful phone with better battery life. But don't buy it if all your friends have iPhones. Sorry to say that OnePlus's iPhone sharing capabilities don't live up to the hype, and may frustrate friends more than help. You don't have that much cash on hand. Your mobile carrier will practically give you a Galaxy or iPhone free if you sign your soul away for a few years. You want the best camera phone. The OnePlus 13 is one of the best camera phones, but the Galaxy S24 Ultra and iPhone 16 Pro still take better photos in many situations.